Blinding Midnight Show.
So right before the pandemic happened, I was starting to dabble a little bit more in stand-up comedy. And the reason I bring that up is because The Jimmy Show, directed by Frank Whaley and released in 2002, is basically about I don't want to say wannabe stand-up comedian, but he just thinks he's a lot better than he is. Basically, it's about a down on his luck, stand-up comedian who's working a bunch of dead-end jobs. And if you're not familiar with Frank Whaley, he actually played Robbie Krieger in Oliver Stone's The Doors movie. And then he also made a cameo in Pulp Fiction as Brett, who gets shot by Samuel L. Jackson. He definitely deserved it, in my opinion. And then he also directed another movie that I really love, which stars Val Kilmer, which is Joe the King, released in 1999. And that also has a cameo appearance by Ethan Hawke, who stars in, The Jimmy Show alongside Frank Whaley. So one of the things I do love about this movie is that despite how dark it is and how melancholy and sad, it's actually super funny. And to me, it's very relatable because, I think a lot of people can relate to the aspect that, Jimmy works a ton of dead-end jobs. I mean, when the movie starts off, he's working in a grocery store, and then he's doing stand-up comedy at nights, open mics at these bars where he's, bombing miserably. But I mean, it's at least the guy's giving it a shot, because when it pans to people in the audience, they're just sitting there I think I'm better than you, even though all I do is nothing and I don't have any hobbies. So, I mean, yeah, even if you suck at stand-up comedy, I think it's still great, even if you just go up there and try. And use no note cards. I can't fucking stand it when people use note cards or stare at their phones for, 30 seconds to look at a joke. It's hey, try memorizing it or just live in the momento, por favor. Yeah, one thing I like about Jimmy O'Brien's character is that he's a very intelligent guy. He's just very, unmotivated in a lot of ways and kind of in denial about a lot of things. Because at the beginning of the movie, he finds out that his girlfriend of many years is pregnant. So instead of trying to get, a better job or maybe going back to school to try and, ascend himself to, a higher level in some way to support his family, he just continues to keep quitting all these jobs. And he continues to go out for stand-up almost every single night, and it just starts affecting his marriage, too. And, he's also very rude to his wife. I mean, in my opinion, the girl that plays his wife, and in the movie, I know they're fictional characters. But, well, actually, I don't know. I guess I see it a lot in reality, too. It's his wife is just way too good for him, in my opinion. She's this beautiful, sweet, loving woman and mother. And then Jimmy O'Brien's just kind of, despite how funny he is, he's a fucking piece of shit to his wife. I don't know, it's there's a scene where it shows them on their anniversary, and he's just kind of being rude to her and just kind of ruining everywhere they go. He freaks out at this restaurant just because they don't get a table right away despite making reservations. It's hey dude, you're lucky to even have a girlfriend. But yeah, I just think it's funny how many dead-end jobs he has. I mean, I've definitely been there, and one thing that sucks about having a dead-end job, or that makes it worse, is when you have a dead-end job with coworkers that just take everything way too seriously. Because I remember I was working as a dishwasher many years ago at a seminary, and they would just make the biggest federal case about the smallest things. I remember it's I would show up to work sometimes, and it's right when I would get there, they would it's on Office Space, 8 different bosses coming to you, about, instead of TPS reports, my TPS report was tiny bits of egg yolk on a fork, these forks need to be washed, the forks gotta be washed, you gotta make sure to put them through trays, you gotta clean the forks. It's I know how to clean a fork, you fat fucking pieces of shit, Jesus. It's I'm sorry that I'm not morbidly obese like you and forgot to run this one fork through twice. Get a life. But, some people get off on stupid jobs like that because they have no souls or hobbies. Jeez, he's so angry. Nah, just being brutally honest. I think my favorite part of this movie is when Jimmy O'Brien does stand-up for the first time. And there's a bit he has where he's talking about his friend Ray, who's played by Ethan Hawke. They work together in the grocery store in the beginning. And I just think it's funny. He's like, Ray's probably my best friend, you know? I can't tell if he's mildly retarded or just a little brain damage from all the weed he smokes. Or both. There's also a part where he's working in like this, what appears to be some type of like fast food restaurant, and it's just funny because someone comes up to him and they're like, yeah, do you have blah blah blah? I can't remember what it is, but he's like, is it on the menu? No. Then I think you just answered your own question. And, you know, I worked in retail for about 3 years, so I can just absolutely relate to that. I mean, and I've worked in food service, and there are a lot of moronic douchebags out there. Another thing I love about this movie is that it's, you know, terrifyingly realistic in a lot of ways, and I think that's what I like about it, is like there's no happy ending. It's like it kind of just ends realistically. I think there's too many, you know, big budget Hollywood production movies where it's just like the typical happy ending where everything works out, but in Jimmy's case, like as time goes on in the movie, things just get like worse and worse. I mean, his wife leaves him, and it gets to a point at the end where I think he just sees his wife and daughter get on a train, and like it just indicates that, you know, he doesn't have any way to like connect to them or reach out to them. And then, you know, his grandma who lives with him that he's, you know, caring for, she ends up dying towards the end of the movie too, and it just seems like his friend Ray even doesn't even want to be around him. But it's his own fault though. I mean, like, he's just such a bitter like asshole all the time. It's like, what does he expect? It's like, let's see, should I try and fix my life or just keep drinking every day? Gee. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love drinking as much as the next person, but it's like, hey, moderation. This movie, by the way, will make you want to drink Pabst Blue Ribbon so bad, or, excuse me, PBR. I remember when I was 21, I went to a bar and I was like, can I get a Pabst Blue Ribbon? She was like, just a side note, hon. Just call it PBR. And it's like, hey, you're fucking ugly. But yeah, this movie will definitely make you want to drink PBR. There's a part in the beginning where he shows up to work like 45 minutes late, and then he like just gets finished getting reamed out by his boss. So instead of trying to like work hard and like, you know, improve himself, he just goes and takes 2 24 packs of PBR and then just runs out to his car and puts him in the trunk. And, you know, he's trying to have his friend Ray like, you know, back him up for all these like, you know, all these theft crimes he's committing, and then eventually he finally gets fired when they do inventory. Yep. Oh, excuse me, Dick Van Dyke Show. But yeah, if you're looking for a dark yet comedic movie, and if you're fascinated or intrigued by stand-up comedy, you know, I would definitely suggest this. And this movie is actually free right now on YouTube, so, I mean, it would definitely be better to watch it if you have YouTube Premiums. That way there's not ads every 5 minutes. But yeah, I remember the first time I watched this movie, it was on, I just came across it on Netflix like 10 or 11 years ago. And then, like Netflix usually does, they'll just, you know, kick good movies off and then just keep the same shit or have a bunch of stupid TV shows on there. Yeah, and then I tried to look for it like on, you know, Amazon, like to rent or something, but it's like, the only way I was able to watch it was to just buy the DVD, and I think it was like only $8 or $9. But now I noticed that it's actually unavailable to purchase online for whatever reason. But yeah, no, definitely check it out if you want something to just kind of, you know, make you laugh, or, you know, maybe think twice about certain choices you make in life. In the meantime, if you like what you see, hit the like and subscribe button, and Trump 420.